Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Listen, it's 10:16. Listen, I get up before the chickens do. This late for me, okay? But when I tell y'all Handmaid's Tale was good, come on, let's get into it, child, because it's late. I'm ready for bed, okay? I haven't changed everything, but I'm ready for bed, okay? But baby, when I tell you that Serena Joy and June Osborne did not disappoint in episode 6 together, new to my channel, welcome, okay? You like what you see? Hit the subscription button, okay? You don't want to miss uploads? Hit the notification bell. You like participating in engagement? Hit the thumbs up and comment down below. I don't care if it's 2 years from now. I will answer your comment. If you know, you know. Okay, listen. Y'all remember I had already told y'all that it was going to be June that saved Serena Joy. You know, and essentially they was going to be better together. Together. Okay? I was right. It just didn't look like what I thought it was going to look like. But we going to talk about it. First of all, I thought June and Luke was done for. Done for. Okay, I thought that was Gilead that came for him. It was the annex of Gilead. They still in no man's land, child. We didn't have to deal with Moira, Tuello, none of them people over in Canada. Okay, we did dilly dally over there in Gilead, but we gonna talk about that. But they in between in no man's land, and they still being held captive. They photo being taken like they in the police department. You know. Right? And this is Luke's opportunity. He does not want to look weak in front of June. He doesn't. He is doing his best to woof up and bark up and be the man that she need him to be. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to be the man that Serena Joy implied that he was, which was a weakling. Now, y'all know Luke ain't about that life. Y'all already know that. So, June at the gate is like, what? What? You know what I'm saying? What you want? You want some of me? Right? She more mad than all of them, right? She walk hard and she carry heavy balls, right? And Luke is like, hey, knock it off. Get out of here. You. They get into the cells after she done cussed them all out. They put them in separate cells. Now they got a little space in between them, kind of like the train cars be. You know how you can walk between car and car, but you can't walk between these cells. But it's a little space in between where they can kind of like touch fingers and stuff like that. It's very romantical, right? And at first, Luke is losing it. He is just like, oh, I can scale the wall. I feel like I can dig out of here. I mean, he really did try, but it was just, he had so much panic and so much anxiety. Like, he's never been locked up. He's never been held captive. When June and Hannah Banana were taken, she was taken immediately to the breeding farms, and Hannah Banana was taken to a family, right? Or put in one of them little kitty cages, right? And then Luke was able to escape. I don't know if he was just able to escape, or if they just wasn't keeping the men folks and they sent him over the board. I don't know. But anyway, he's never been captured. He's never been held captive. He's never been jailed and he is kind of losing it. And June is like, it's actually not bad. The cages are typically smaller, but yeah, I've been in worse tights, right? Yeah, like she's been held down and great. So I mean, she is just like, we're going to figure this out. I got to figure this out. I got to figure out what's going on. I got to get some information. Now, all the while, she keeps saying, call Commander Lawrence. Call Commander Blaine. I was like, girl, you dry snitching. You dry snitching. You don't even know who you dealing with. So you low-key dry snitching on Lawrence and Blaine. Like, get yourself together. Right? You know, you're doing too much. But this is what my Twisted Life of Poetry and TV always say. June don't really care about nobody but herself. I mean, I disagree because obviously she cares about Hannah Banana and then her little baby back in Canada and everything that she had with Nick. But I see her point. I see her point. Like, they supposed to be your intel in Gilead. Why are you dropping their names? Like, you just need to see a little bit more, June. Pump your brakes. Anywho, her and Luke get into it in the jail because, in the cells, because he is panicking and she's trying to get him to stop panicking. But he is like, you so calm. You're so calm. Like, I don't understand. Like, and she was like, Luke, God dang it. Take it down a notch. Like, you're going to lose it in that cell. There's nothing I can do for you because you over there losing it. Like, we got to focus. You know, they get upset with each other and before long they able to reconcile. You know, they kind of turn it into a joke. She was like, hey, what you doing? He was like, chilling. He's sitting on top of his bucket / commode and she's sitting on the ground, baby. June is hardcore. Okay. And so he was like, how's your butt? She was like, oh, it's pretty good. He was like, yeah, you better be glad these cages are separating us or I will canoodle you. I'd canoodle you to death. And she was like, yeah. They come in and scan her fingerprints. And then they go in Luke's cell. We don't know what they finna do, if they finna take his fingerprints too. We don't know. Luke didn't give him a chance because as soon as they opened that cage, he was like, I'll kill all of you. And he runs out. He gets exactly 2 feet before they get him and mollywop him. And she's like, Luke, don't fight him. Don't fight him. And he was like, I'll kill them all. And they were like, pimp slap, pimp slap, pimp slap. 2 to the body. Boom, boom. 3 to the head. And he was like, I'll never stop being the man that you need me to be. And she was like, what are you animals doing? Leave him alone. And the guy got him in a chokehold. And he was like, ugh. And just before he was about to be rocked straight to sleep, they let him go and threw him on the ground. And then kicked him. Ribs, kidney. Ribs, kidney. Okay, when they threw him back in that cell, that blood was coming out of his mouth. He was like, yeah. You're stomping with the big dogs now. You're running with the big dogs. Huh? This is captivity. You got to be smarter, not hoarder. Luke, come on, Luke, come on. It's not about Braun. They get to this point where they really start to talk about it. He ain't got no fight. He done laid there long as he can. And June just watching him from her cage. And she say, I'm sorry, y'all know this June. This is a typical June moment, right? You get somebody hurt, you get somebody killed, then you play the martyr like, I'm sorry. I'm guilty. I'm the reason why. You came across the border. I knew you couldn't handle it. I knew it wasn't safe for you. I should have stopped you. In other words, I knew I was coming. And I figured the only way I could come is to let you come, and I just have to take care of you, but I couldn't take care of you. And he was like, no. Last time we was together, we didn't get a chance to say goodbye. I want us to say goodbye now. She said, let me tell you something. Even in captivity, I never gave up hope on us. And he said, and she said, and you never gave up hope on us. Ha 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 ha. Huh? And we're not gonna give up now. We's gonna survive this. And he was like, I love you, baby. She was like, I love you too, boo. We don't know what the heck going on. We don't know. Are we going to Gilead? You still in no man's land. They know they still in no man's land. Like, what can we do? Y'all want loot? Y'all need loot to be a handmaid? Like, how can we barter and work this out? Anyway, let's tiptoe on over to Gilead. Now, you know they was going to harvest Esther's uterus because she was over in old nasty piece of coma. Okay, it's been 3 weeks since she gave Janine them poisonous bonbons and took a couple of bites of herself for herself. And they both was in a coma, but Janine done been out for a minute. And she back over in the breeding camp. And Esther done woke up, child. They was just about to harvest her whole uterus, child. Now, I don't know how you harvest the uterus. But again, I don't know what year it is either. Maybe it's the year 2035, child, and they can harvest whole uteruses. But the last time I checked, you can't harvest no uterus, child. Once you separate it, you know what I'm saying? Now, maybe you can. Maybe I don't know. I just had the one uterus all my life. But when they went in there to take the child's uterus out, and I do mean child, take the child's uterus out, they found out she was pregnant. Yes, she 3 weeks along. 3 weeks along. Let me think now. Aunt Lydia was looking. She was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, 3 weeks along. She filled with His blessed light." I was like, I mean, okay. One man's blessed light is another woman's shame and humiliation, child. Pain and regret, honey. Okay, you get what I'm telling you. So listen, Aunt Lydia go in there and talk to Esther, and she asked Esther. She said, "Listen, 3 weeks ago was Commander Waterford's funeral. What happened when you was in there in a private meeting with Putnam?" And she say, Esther was just sitting, laying there. Now, they done got her chained to the bed. They gonna send her to a special hospital for high-risk pregnancies. And I was thinking, high-risk pregnancies because of why? Because she a young child and she shouldn't be pregnant? Huh? Was she like 13, 12, 13, maybe 15? I don't know. But why y'all sending her to high risk? Because she coming out of a coma? It's more secure. Y'all can keep her locked down more? Or is it because she a baby having a baby? And she said, Aunt Lydia say, think real closely now. When I asked you this, did you in any way push up on Commander Putnam? And Esther said, no. And she say, Aunt Lydia say, well, what did she say? This not right? This is not right? Something about she don't condone it, or she don't like this, or something. Anyway, Esther was like, you witch. Basically, because Aunt Lydia was like, listen, just rest, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of this. And she started tucking at the sheets. And maybe when I tell you Esther lost it, she had taken all she could take. She had taken all she could take from Aunt Lydia, acting like she had no idea. She said, he raped me. Oh, Aunt Lydia say, now I'm over. I'm on. I don't, this is not right. Esther said, get out. And she was like, no, just calm down. Just calm down. Get out. Baby, they had her tied down and she started rocking that bed and screaming and lifting her head up. And Lydia was so flustered. She was like, oh, help me, help me, help me, help me. She said, calm down. You got to rest. You got the light inside of you. You don't want to calm down. And she was like, get out of here. Stop touching me. Get out of here. It's a wonder she don't believe you, Aunt Lydia. You know what I'm saying? Because Janine done had to come to Jesus meeting with you and held your feet to the fire. Now you run around like, now I see, now I know, I'm going to do better, right? But just because you make recompense with the sins of your past don't mean that you don't still have to pay, Aunt Lydia. Huh? God forgives, but man rarely does. Okay? The first chance these ladies get to bludgeon you in your head, I promise you that's what they gonna do, because you have harmed and scarred and humiliated and dismissed and subjugated these women far too long. But Aunt Lydia does go to Commander Lawrence, and she tells Commander Lawrence something has got to be done about Putnam, because basically he raped this girl. And Putnam was like, she was one day before being committed to the post. What do you think I should do? And of course, I was shocked. I was like, Putnam, are you this heartless? Are you this cruel? Because we got this impression in past seasons that Putnam was conscientious, like he was a man of empathy. Now, I don't know if he's just playing this role, but even when he went and got Hannah Banana and brought her to get June to talk and tell where the farm where the other ladies were, even then he just kind of had a matter-of-fact kind of callous thing. I think how he proceeded after this, after talking to Lydia, was for his own agenda and not necessarily for the benefit of Esther. Okay? So Aunt Lydia was like, well, something has to be done because he operated outside of the covenant, and that's not right. It's about the ceremony, and the graping is supposed to be done at a ceremony, basically. And he was like, I mean, I said good day, Aunt Lydia, and she was like, enjoy your meal, Captain Lawrence, if you can, basically. You know what I'm saying? Carry on your own self and your own guilt and shame because you know this not right. And he was like, I said good day. Like, they both know what this is. They both know what this is, except Lydia late to the party with this consciousness, right? Anywho, so Commander Lawrence and Commander Blaine, that is Nick, they at the fireplace having cigars and drinks with Commander Putnam, and they clink, 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 clinking their drinks, right? And Commander Lawrence done told Putnam what has happened, that Esther is pregnant. And he is just like, I got strong, powerful seed. Yeah. And they were like, so this is what we doing? We pushing folks down, but we pushing young women down behind a desk and doing this, that, and the third. And Commander Putnam was like, I mean, it wasn't necessarily a quickie because your boy got, I was like, chill, that was 10 minutes of horrific quickiness. Horrific. You know what I'm saying? That poor girl. Ooh. I can't ponder there too long. I can't. I start getting upset. Let me move forward. Listen. He's being so smug about it. He's being so smug about it. At the same time, he proud of it. He doesn't deny it. He's proud of it. And he is, scolding Commander Lawrence. He tells Commander Lawrence, number one, your plan, your grand idea for New Bethlehem ain't not gonna happen, okay? And furthermore, you should be so lucky to have somebody that you can grade, because you don't even act like you want to try to procreate with nobody. You're not even trying to check. And he was like, well, I mean, for me, Lawrence was like, for me, it's really more about, the vision, writing the vision, or whatever, making it plain, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more about business, in other words, less about the carnal. And then Commander Putnam was like, well, you might want to think about it, sir, because you're the low man on the totem pole, because you're not out here creating babies like I am. Boop, 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 boop. And so Nick was like, ooh, this ninja. I can't stand this ninja. This ninja is a pervert. And so Commander Lawrence was like, well, the next morning, Putnam and his wife had breakfast with everybody. They had the community breakfast, child. All the women dressed alike, all the men dressed alike. I ain't never seen nothing so sickly. Ooh, I love that color blue, but child, they make me hate it. Anywho, she notices everybody staring and looking like they got three heads. And she's like, why is everybody staring at us? Now, she talked to him very sternly, which let me know that she know that her husband is quite a piece of work, right? And she said, well, why is everybody staring at us? He was like, well, they probably know. Know what? Putnam, what did you do? And he was like, before he could say good what he had done. Now, mind you, he don't think nothing wrong with what he had done, because it ended up with Esther bearing a child. And so in come the doggone police now, and they come stomping through, and he was like, they said, Commander Putnam, come with us. And he was like, what is so important that you disturbing my breakfast? And then that was when they started hemming him up, He was like, now say now, sir, I am a commander. What are you doing? I can walk. What is this? And they taking right out front of the doggone Piccadilly, where they was having breakfast, child, the S&S Cafe, child, the IHOP. They take them right out front, where they got all this tile laid out in the shape of they symbol, the Gilead symbol. And they kneel him down. Okay, he was like, what is this all about? Like, I don't understand. What are we talking about? So they let him know these are the charges. Commander Putnam, you are being charged with apostasy. This is insanity. I am not. I am a commander. And they said, you took property that wasn't yours. He said, she was my property. She was my handmaid. And that's when Commander Nick said, his eyes are in every place. God sees everything. He said something like that and pulled out his gun, and Commander Putnam went to get up to say, how dare you? And Commander Blaze said, there was a special overnight session. You got to be careful of them overnight sessions, baby. Sometimes you be the only one that don't know, okay? You be at home thinking it's going to be a normal Wednesday, child, and all hell break loose because of them private overnight sessions, right? And you have been charged. You have been found guilty, baby. And he pulled out that gun and ka-choo-ah, right in the head, and they did a slow motion. Oh, and that head went back, and he thumped to the ground. And Mrs. Putnam was like, yeah. Your husband's a pervert, and now you're going to be shamed, okay? And you can't have no baby. Okay, but they've already proven that you can't have no baby of your own. So I don't think you're going to be somebody else's wife. I think you on your way to being somebody Martha. You on your way to being somebody Martha, or you going to be the next Aunt Lydia. One or the other. What they gonna do with your baby, girl? What is they gonna do with your baby? They gonna give your baby to somebody else? Janine's baby. What they gonna do with Janine's baby? They gonna pass it off to somebody else? What they gonna do? I don't know what they do with these wives when they get rid of these husbands. And then they took his body. Child, he laid out there in the square. Everybody saw it all. Now, this is about humiliation. Now, you know, Nick had a wife, a young wife that they gave him. And she was in love with another man. What they did with her was they took her and tied stones to her legs and threw her in the doggone pool while everybody stood around and watched that girl drown. Be held down at the bottom of that pool and drown. See, that was about teaching a lesson to everybody watching, right? This was about humiliating, because it was really a quick demise for Putnam, but it was about humiliating him, really. And it was Lawrence's attempt to show all the other husbands that, listen, we're not gonna have all this graping around here, because we already got very few handmaids that's producing, and we can't be around here hurting them and woo 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 woo, right? So they go and hang his body up. And was he missing an arm? Was he always missing an arm? Is it me, or was he always missing an arm? I don't remember them cutting his arm off. Maybe they did it. I don't know when they got rid of him, child. But they strung him up with a bag over his head, child, like Jeepers Creepers. And they had all the handmaids, including Janine, they're watching. And Aunt Lydia said, this is what happens when you break the law and you mistreat our handmaids and not honor them as they should be honored. I don't care. Okay, Aunt Lydia, that's fine. But if you ain't cutting no chains and smuggling nobody over the border and setting no people free, I ain't got it for you. I ain't got it for you. Janine said, I wish I could have been there to see him get it. You know what I'm saying? She said, I wish I could have rolled that bullet straight between his eyes, baby. And Aunt Lydia didn't say anything. She said, okay, ladies, back to the breeding farm for warm milk. Putnam is gone. Putnam is gone. Ding dong. Putnam is gone. Okay, so listen. Let's talk about Serena Joy. Serena Joy riding there to the house, to the Wheeler's house, honey. And she is just so ecstatic, because she thinks she getting ready to go out to the gynecologist, because she got to have an ultrasound. Where the gynecologist has come to her. And she was like, I thought, is there some mistake? I thought I had an appointment this morning to go to get the ultrasound. And he was like, yeah, you are. No need to go out, because they walked, 4 flights of steps to the top floor, where the Wheelers had put a full and complete birthing center in place. Baby, when I tell you she saw that hospital table and them stirrups and all that equipment, and he said this is a full birthing center, you never have to leave here. The pit of her stomach, I know, felt like she had 25 stones in it, and not because she pregnant, because she realized, you a freaking handmaid. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Lock it in. Now it ain't lock. It ain't lock. She still got that sense of privilege where she feel like she can just act indignant and everybody will shape up and just do what she want them to do. So the doctor, which I did some things which I thought was inappropriate, after he done put the jelly on and seen the baby, everything's fine with the baby, woo woo woo, he decides he gonna do a digital exam. And while he's talking to her, you can see on her face that the way he touching her is not medical. And he's telling her it's really important to keep everything lubricated, you know what I'm saying? I forget what he called it, perineal something. Anyway, it's basically just trying to keep yourself flexible down there and everything, and so that, you know, I don't moisturize, and, you know, like, so everything don't go to heck down there when the baby come out, child. You know what I'm saying? You want it to be, you know, pliable, so that the baby can come out. But the whole time he talking to her, he is stirring around in there. And he telling her a list of things she could use. I was like, why do you have... This the kind of stuff. This the kind of stuff. This the kind of stuff that make women hate men. It don't even matter the color of the race. It don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? It come with a penis sometimes. These behaviors come with a penis. You know what I mean? Not all of them, but some of them, and most of them, and you got to keep your eye out for the bad ones, huh? Anywho, he done sat down, he done took a deep breath, and she was like, well, did you find something? Is something wrong? Is something going on? And he was like, well, you know what? I've been watching you. I seen you. I like you. And I want you. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was hoping you'd have dinner with me. He was like, we could do it here. We can come to my house because I'm a terrible cook, but my Martha makes a lovely cedar salmon. And she was like, okay. He was like, yeah, I mean, she was like, okay, I'll think about it, Dr. Greenbaum. And he was like, Alan, please. I was like, mother. First of all, inappropriate. Inappropriate considering you just pull your fingers out of me, boo. Okay. Oh, also, I'm a widow who's pregnant. You might want to pump your brakes. But, again, all the women are property. Some of them are upscale property, but property nonetheless, right? So later on, she downstairs with Mrs. Wheeler, and they doing flower arrangement in the flower arranging room, child. And Miss Wheeler says, well, I thought you just love flower arranging. And she was like, yeah, weird thing, Serena says, but Dr. Greenbaum asked me out. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to hear you say that. He really is a very, very nice man. And she was like, yeah, but I'm going to go with the no. And she was like, but why? And he's my gynecologist. And so Miss Wheeler said, but you cannot be an unwed mother without a husband. You cannot. That's just that we just know. I mean, she was like, yeah, in Gilead. This is in Gilead. Miss Wheeler was like, listen, you cannot be unwed. You have to get married, okay? What about your baby? You know? And Serena was like, I'm fine. And then when she realized where it was going, she was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go for a walk. This is what I'm saying when I say she was still thinking. She knew what was up, but she was still thinking what was going on, like with the hospital bed and all that stuff. But she still thought her privilege, like her indignation was still going to get her out of it, right? Like, and she was like, I'm going for a walk. You know what? And Miss Wheeler was like, oh, no, you will not. It's cold out there, and in your condition, you need some rest. The baby needs to rest. And she was like, I'm fine. I'm going for a walk. And Miss Wheeler said, go to your room. And she was like, I said, go to your room now. And Serena turned and went upstairs. And when I tell you, Mrs. Wheeler listened, and she click, 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 walked up all the museum stairs till she got to that room. And when she got to that room, baby, and sat down, and she got to rocking. Yeah. Yeah, bitch. You a handmaid. What? Huh? You said, Yeah. Yeah. You're a handmaid. Your baby is their property. They're preparing to take your child. Huh? And it's nothing you can do about it. If only we had a superhero. Who knows how to not only give birth, deliver, but smuggle children out of captivity. Anywho, later on, Ezra come get her and bring her down to Commander Wheeler, who's down there in his study drinking, child. And she was like, oh yeah, under his eye, whatever, child. Y'all, you sent for me. Is this about my conversation with Miss Wheeler? And he was like, nah. Y'all grown women. Y'all will figure that out. And you gonna soon realize that she your supervisor. Okay, basically. And he was like, yeah, we found June Osborne. I got some people in no man's land. And she was like, well, what are you gonna do? You gonna get revenge for Fred? And he said, yes, I am. And she said, you gonna do it yourself? And he said, I'm gonna have Ezra go up there and take care of her. And he said, I don't trust sending her back to Gilead because they really don't take her type of criminal serious, right? Like he didn't feel like they was gonna deal with her seriously. And she was like, yeah, I agree. She's got too many sympathizers in Gilead, right? Remember, Commander Lawrence and Commander Plain, get him a call, please. Remember I was telling you about that? Anywho. And so Commander Blaine riding high, boo, because he done went round there to his wife, and his wife is sad because, you know, they used to go to dinner over at the Putnam's child, and they was the bridge partners and whatnot, and I'm just worried this is gonna change you. And he was like, change me? I'm trying to change this world to be a better place for you and our child. And then she touched her belly, so I think she might be pregnant too, which I was like, oh, another handmaid, another wife that's pregnant? Wow, that would be crazy, right? But June did say when they got in the van, she knew that they wasn't Gilead people because the van smelled like cleaning products, and Gilead people don't use cleaning products. Whatever they think caused the women to go barren and not be able to bear children, they think is environmental and obviously religiousness, you know, that religiosity and that type of thing. It's all a part of what they believe. So all interesting points. Anyway, going back to Serena Joy now has wised up. She has gotten smart. Okay, and so she put on the waterworks, baby. She pushed them tears to the front of her eyeball and she held them there. She held them there and she said, thank you so much. I want to go with Ezra. And he said, oh, no, not in your condition, boo. We got to have this baby right when this baby pop out. And she said, no, I want to see with my own eyes. I want to watch her pay. She robbed me of my husband, of my son's father. I want to be able to tell my son what happened to his daddy's killer. Please. And he was like, oh, I can't resist your cherub cheeks. Your soft, supple, alabaster skin has moved me. You may go. And she was like, thank you. He said, you want to see? She was like, I need to in my last trimester. I really do need to be a part of a bloody, bloody, bloody murder. Thank you. And he was like, okay, carry on. You're welcome. Next morning, Ezra load her up, baby. She ready to go. Now, she ain't got on her blue. She got on, you know what I'm saying, like old Lands End, Ralph Lauren camel colored combination type situation. And Miss Wheeler right on her as she walk out the door. She is like, just be careful. If the slightest thing happens, Ezra's gonna bring you right back if you got the slightest bit of discomfort. And Serena was like, you know what? Thank you very much. I got this. and Miss Wheeler's like, I don't want her leaving here with my baby and my uterus. She hold it in the road now, but she know. Okay? She's something in her spirit told her. Okay? Now, all the while, I could see Serena Joy is in labor. Now, y'all know I don't have no children, but I could just tell by the way she was breathing, and she wasn't really able to, like, hold it in the road. Like, her breathing wasn't normal. She was like, the whole time Ezra was driving. They get there. Now, they done separated June and Luke. I heard them say they was taking Luke back to the border, right? I don't know the border what? The border of no man's land in Canada? The border of no man's land in Gilead? I don't know. But they say they taking him back to the border, child. They didn't. I guess they figured, you know what? He just milk toast, child. He communion crackers, child. He ain't no threat to nobody. Throw him back. You know what I'm saying? We ain't caught much of nothing with him. What we wanted was the big fish, which was June. And so, listen. Baby, when I tell you, June screamed and hollered, leave him, Where are you taking him? Where are you taking him? He was saying, I love you, June. I love you, June. Child, you gonna be home for lunch. Calm down, Luke. I hope I'm right. But listen, Ezra get on the bus halfway between wherever they was going, child. I don't know. I think they was headed back to Gilead, honey. And Ezra done stopped the bus like they did with Fred and gathered her up off of their child. But June is the star of the show. They're not finna get rid of June this quick. So I wasn't worried about June at all, right? I knew what was going on. Because Serena Joy sees the only opportunity she could. Okay, listen. Got her off there, and then and the car's there. The bus went on by this business, and there June is with her hands bound, and Serena was like, "You filthy animal, I hate your guts." And she was like, "Ezra cut her ties. I want her to be down on her knees praying when you give it to her." And she was like, "You said you wanted my unborn baby to croak." And June said, "I remember that was the best day of my life." And she was like, "I hate you." Anyway, he cuts her ties and she gets down on the ground. She was like, "Really, really, Serena Joy, this is what we're doing. Just do it if you're going to do it." And she told Ezra, she said, "You know what, Ezra?" Because Ezra done pulled out the gun and he finna give it to June. And she said, "You know what, Ezra? I want to be the one to do it. It's Serena Joy, right? Let me do it." And he was like, "Are you sure? I don't think this is right. This feels wrong to me." And she was like, "No, I want to do it. I wants to look her in the eyes and watch she pray and take her out." And Ezra was like, "You know what? That really does sound reasonable. Here's my Glock." And she gets it and she's just holding that. She pregnant. Now, y'all know the recoil, the noise, like everything. The last thing a pregnant woman should be doing is shooting a gun, but it's fine. Why he's not connecting with that, I don't know. Anyway, so she got the gun and she was like, "Pray." And June say, "I pray both of our children, all of our children, my 2 daughters and your son, live in a world of peace and kindness and happiness, and joy, free from hate and violence." And Serena Joy is crying. And June is crying. "I prayed, yeah. But she did not close her eyes. She wanted to meet that bullet head on. I give it to you. Y'all know, like I said, June walked hard and she carry a heavy set of balls, baby. A heavy set of balls. Baby. And Serena Joy said, "God dang it." And she turks the gun and she turns around and she shoots Ezra. Now Ezra looked like he had on a old nasty piece of bulletproof vest, because he pulled it down a little bit, but still, honey, I'm gonna tell you, they say that slug to the chest is hard on your body. They say it bruised a whole circumference, child. But she told June, June was like, "Serena, what are you doing? Serena, what the duck are you doing? Serena, what the duck are you doing?" I was like, "It don't matter, baby. You free once again. You free once again. This is the train, the rebel gang. All this he's giving you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, right, June? Like, take it down a notch a little bit. What the duck, Serena? What the duck?" Serena said, "Get in the car. You driving." She got in the back, and now June driving the car like she Ezra, but she still got that gun on June because she know that June really want her dead, and she feel like she gonna use June to get away, but she gonna make sure that June don't get a chance to kill her herself. She don't know. She don't know that June been going to therapy. What I tell y'all, if anybody could save Serena Joy from the situation that she was in, it's June. Now, I thought June was going to come riding in and try to kill her and end up saving her, but it turns out that the fact that June got caught is what gave her the out to get out of that house and then get a chance to get away. Now, what's going to happen is Serena Joy is in labor. The whole time she doing all this, she is in pain and in labor, and June know it. And the other thing that's gonna happen is June gonna deliver that baby. She gonna be there. They gonna get a chance to chit chat and talk about everything that's going on. And then before you know it, they gonna be together. I believe they gonna band together, enemy and enemy, for a greater cause to dismantle Gilead and get Hannah Banana back. What y'all think? Put it down below. Listen, it was a good episode. I want to hear what y'all think. Mr. Jackal, where you at? Huh? Okay, listen. Let me know. Let me know. And until next time, honeybees, mwah, mwah, mwah.